everyone. Yesterday was one of the worst days for Indian aviation. In fact, for the entire world, I guess. One of the biggest aviation disasters in the history of India happened yesterday. Yesterday, as I had told you, I had a class in another school, and around the time while I was taking that class, around 1:40 p.m, this aviation accident happened in the northern Indian state of Gujarat. It's crazy, man. It's a really shocking incident. Almost the entire people in the plane were declared dead. The plane crashed right after takeoff. It was barely a minute in the air, right outside the airport. It fell into a densely populated area, and after some time they declared that almost everybody on board has died. But miraculously, one person survived. One passenger has come out of the wreckage with some minor injuries. So let me pay homage to the people who lost their lives, and to those who are injured. Around 240 people died, including the cabin crew. So it's horrible. It's really bad. You know, it set me thinking about the impermanence of life. You know, when I hear the stories of the passengers, like how they said goodbye to their loved ones, telling them, see you soon. They are no more. And the person who survived, he was with his brother, if I'm right. I think he was with his brother. And that brother is gone. So this has set me thinking. Don't we have very limited time? What should you be doing with your life in that limited time that you have? You know, as a school teacher, this is a thought that I find myself sharing with my students more and more. When I see some students just wasting their life away, going behind all these unnecessary activities in life, unnecessary pursuits. What I tell my students is, at any stage of your life, whether you are a kid, whether you are a teenager, whether you are a young person, whether you are a person in their mid-40s, in their senior stage of life, there are certain things, certain minimum things that you should have achieved. Certain stages of growth, as they say, you have to achieve certain things. Otherwise, what is the use of a life where you just live through it? You are brought up by your parents, you grow up, okay, you get a job, you go to the job, you come back. And nobody knows you. If somebody asks about you, in the places that you have been, like let's say your town, your village, your school, your college, your place of work, and the other person has to think twice, who is that guy? Who is this person? Like you are a nobody then. Nobody knows you. So what I tell them is, make use of your time. Make sure that you achieve those minimum things that you have to achieve. What I feel is, getting good grades in school is good, but that is not all. There are certain other things that are more important than getting good grades. You should know how to live with others in harmony. You should be able to treat others with kindness. You should have compassion to your fellow beings. Make sure that the person next to you is happy. Because we can survive. Yeah, everybody can survive, but we should be able to live happily, and to live happily you need others. Yesterday in my class on cooperation, what I told to the students was, nobody is an island. Nobody can live like that. You will have to take the help of others. You may have to depend on others at one point or the other. So when that time comes, that person should feel to help you. That person should be ready to help you. If you give, then only you will get. So treat others with love, compassion and care. In the schools that I teach, these are government schools, the children that attend these schools belong to, middle class or lower middle class, or even poor families, from poor families. There are children who wouldn't have had their breakfast. Thankfully, in the school, there is a midday meal free for them. So that would be the only solid meal that some students have. So I tell my students, you should be able to, you should know who your classmates are. You should know who is sitting next to you. Make sure that person has had their food. And I'm very happy that most of my students who can afford a good meal, most of them bring packed lunch from homes. Their parents give more than what one person can eat, so that they can share with those students who don't have food. So this is something that I think everybody should be able to practice in their life: compassion.